Harper One and HarperAudio present Both and Essays by Trans and Gender-Nonconforming Writers of Color. Edited by Denne Michele Norris with Electric Literature. Read by Alexandra Gray, Jackie Yangyuen, Ray Devine, Lily Yasuda, Shaan Dasani, Phil Corin, André Santana, Elva Guerra, and Samy Figaredo. For the girls, the boys, and everyone in between and beyond. I'm still fucking here. Miss Major Griffin Gracie. Introduction. Denne Michele Norris. In the early aughts, when I was in high school, my friends and I often chose Claire's as our meetup location at the mall. We perused the accessories and sometimes could even afford to buy a trendy charm bracelet or puka shell necklace. One humid summer night in Cleveland, a copper armband caught my eye. It was the kind of thing I imagined Cleopatra might have worn, curled several times around the upper arm, each end adorned with the ruby-eyed head of a snake. The ornament looked out of place hanging from a shelf in Claire's, as out of place as I felt standing there in a polo shirt and loose cargo shorts, gawking at it. My friends were running late, so I tried it on, walking around the store, glancing in every mirror. After a few minutes, I stood in front of where I'd found it, considering if I'd really wear it if I purchased it. "It's fine for you to try that on as long as you don't buy it," a saleswoman had crept up behind me. She was black, with graying hair pulled back into a tight bun. And she wore stockings, and the sensible, kitten-heeled shoes of a woman who never missed her Sunday church service. I didn't know her, and yet I knew her very well. "I'm sorry? You wouldn't actually buy that. You're not a girl. It's not for you." She had clocked me. "No, ma'am, I guess I'm not." I placed the armband into her outstretched hand and rushed from the store. My eyes lowered to the ground as I frantically texted my friends to meet me elsewhere. I was angry and embarrassed, but mostly I felt exposed. I'd been standing by myself in a store meant for teenage girls in a suburban mall in Middle America. I typically felt invisible, but with one glance, one comment, this woman let me know that she could see me for what I was and what I wasn't. A year later, a friend and I visited a different mall, a fancier mall, one that didn't even have a Claire's. We walked around, he and I, deep in conversation about sexual identity and stereotypes. When he asked me, quite calmly, if I had ever considered the idea that I might actually be a girl, one who'd simply been born into the wrong body. I considered his question. His tone was gentle, but his query was sharp, pointed, and it lodged itself inside of me. I was aware of trans people's existence because of the T in the acronym LGBT, and because I'd seen episodes of The Nanny and Will and Grace, but they had always been, to me, more theoretical than real. Being trans seemed an unthinkable way to move through the world. I was already black, and gay, and the son of a well-known Baptist minister. I was a high school senior who had somehow managed to survive at a deeply conservative all-boys prep school. Soon I would be a freshman at a progressive liberal arts college outside Philadelphia. I had worked hard in school, convinced that leaving Cleveland and never looking back was the only answer if I wanted to live my best black queer life. This college, a campus where the Princeton Review said it was easier to come out as queer than as a Republican, was my reward. I wanted to step into the freedom of the real world and distance myself from the context in which I was raised. I was not looking for further marginalization. I told my friend that I was not transgender, but his question punctured me like a bullet that wouldn't or couldn't be removed. I first had the idea for an essay series centering trans and gender-nonconforming writers of color in fall 2021. I had recently been named the editor.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?